Religion, spirituality, and truth are probably three of the main concepts that we should deal with if we are trying to understand the spiritual path, the different possibilities, the different religious traditions, and the relationship among them, among religion, spirituality, and God consciousness, truth, or any way in which we would like or we prefer to conceive it. So, one thing I would like to highlight is the fact that it seems to me that religion is a structured way of organizing the spiritual path. It can be understood as a sort of protection in order to secure the path and understand the different stages along this path. To a certain extent, it is like a structure within which the spiritual path, the spiritual quest takes place. On the other hand, if we understand the spiritual path as one in which we are trying to understand our own internal experience of being alive, trying to make sense of it, then spirituality is directly related to self-knowledge. Self-knowledge understood as a quest for what really lies at last as the ultimate reality of ourselves and of the universe. What is all this that is manifested, and who is the real observer who is becoming aware of this universe? So if spirituality is related to this process of knowing the ultimate truth of ourselves and of everything that is manifested as the universe, then religion might be the structure that protects this internal quest in such a way that the spiritual path doesn't become or turn into something that is not really aiming at its real goal, which is truth, and it might become, in a very dangerous way, just a way of confirming our own sense of ourselves, what some people call our egos. So it seems to me, according to what I've learned from a lot of very wise people around the world, that religion is a way of protecting the spiritual path, on the one hand. But on the other hand, it can be a very dangerous way of protecting it, because it might turn, religion, it might turn into a goal in itself. So the form becomes more important than the content or the goal of spirituality. And one may see that many times in extremely religious people who are not really aware of the fact that religion seems to be a tool, an instrument to become closer to ourselves in this internal quest, in this internal search for our own real nature. So when that happens, religion becomes a burden or even an obstacle to spiritual path. So it's quite difficult to really find the balance between spirituality as this process of self-knowledge aimed at understanding the ultimate reality on the one hand, and religion as the structure which protects this process and tells us about which are the stages in this process. So it's a very subtle and delicate balance. Truth, on the other hand, may be understood according to our own profile, we could say. It may be understood as God as a being, as a personal anthropomorphic being with some attributes, or it may be understood in a more negative way, in the sense of understanding God as consciousness, as something of which we cannot really tell anything about. We can only tell what it is not, which is one of the core aspects of the non-dual traditions like Advaita Vedanta, Sufism, Zen Buddhism, and many others. So truth may be understood in both ways, as God as consciousness or God as being. And according to our own nature, that will also dictate what kind of path would be probably more suitable to ourselves. For instance, if we understand God as a being with some attributes, normally a devotional path might be the best one for us. But if we understand God as consciousness, as as something of which we cannot really tell any attribute, we cannot qualify, then probably the knowledge path or the path even of meditation are the path who will be more suited to this tradition. So religion, spirituality, and truth are intermingled concepts which are very important to clarify in order to decide or to distinguish among them, in order to decide which is the best path, the path best suited for ourselves. Listo.